Yeah, 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 yeah.
Say happy birthday, Marshonda. Happy birthday to you. Come on here. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Marlena.
We love birthdays.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Well, tell me, how are you doing today?
You know, I am just marvelous. I got up this morning. We had our stream from 7 to 9, which I tell you what, that morning O Cube stream it's my breakfast. It's my get up and go. It gets me started on my way. And the group, the people in the Lion's Den are just the absolute best. So we had a good time this morning. While we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, then came back and had that empowerment of the day. Then I went and had actually brunch with an old friend of mine. She's actually my parents' age, but she's also my friend. So we had a marvelous, marvelous time of lunch today. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to go back and reconnect with the folks in your life. So it was a great day. Then I shimmied my shimmy back up in here for reboot. And here I am. It's been a beautiful day.
Well, that's great. You said you had a productive day. It's been awesome.
Yes.
We're going to let it be awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. We're going to be talking about conforming.
Oh, Mike City just raided with a party of 21. Oh my goodness, Mike City, Mike City. Welcome, Raiders. I want to welcome all the Raiders into the reboot chat. Come on here. Yes, I'm working on it, Mike. I'm working on it. Listen, good afternoon, Shelby Nicole Cosplay. Mike City, thank you so much for that raid. To all of our Raiders that came in. Shelly, Thunder, I see, listen, up above my head, I hear thunder in the air. And there must be a Shelly Thunder somewhere. Hey, thank you for the sub. We appreciate that sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Listen, I want to say thank you and good afternoon to everybody that joined us on today. And we are having a great time. Oh my God. Thank you. You just don't know how grateful we are. Royal Confessions, I see you out there, Royal Confessions. Good afternoon to you as well. Michelle Browno in the house. Come on, sis. So good to see you. Let me see who else. Arthur Javonda 5. Thank you here. Thank you. Hey. Michelle Browno, thank you so much for following and liking the stream. I appreciate you guys. Man, you guys are the best. You are the SK8843. I see you out there. Thank you so much for coming in the room. You brought the whole family, Mike City. You ain't even lied. You brought the whole 21. over here into the house, and we appreciate you. And with that being said, come on, Lena. This is it. This is it. We're gonna give them wrong sound effect. Here we go. Hey!
I'm loving all this.
Hey. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate you guys. And so is in the room. Peace and love to you too. Salute to all of my peeps. Love you so much. Yes. Mike City brought the whole family, Lena. They came to love on y'all today, so I appreciate.
Well, yes, we love the folks. And guess what? We're about to talk about this. And since everybody's here with us, I want y'all to comment and let me know. I'm going to ask Spiritual Thought Leader, what is your example of conforming? And then I want to see what you guys' opinion of what conforming is. And do you think conforming is bad or good?
Okay, so our topic today is conformity, and you have probably asked the wrong person, because just like the Rebel Inc., I am a rebel when it comes to conforming. And just to kind of give you guys a heads up that came in late, thank you so much for coming. Shelly is traveling on today, so I know y'all came to hear our two young lions, but 1 out of 2, I tell you, she's gonna do this, and we just gonna jump into conversation with her, and we just gonna let the good times roll. Now back to your question. Conformity. I am a rebel.
Hey, you're the right person to ask this question too.
Okay. Okay, Marlena. So when we talk about conformity, that is huge. I've never been a conformer. I've never been a person that conforms to whatever. I've always been that person outside of the box. Yeah, SK8843, I see you. Conformity. I am a rebel, Mike City. I see you out there. I know we miss you, Shelly. We miss you, Shelly. Cause ain't no telling what Lena's gonna get today from me. I'm not a conformist. I am not. And I am not a conformist. And I say that unapologetically. I just am not that one that just because everybody else is doing something or even being told to do something, I'm not going to typically follow. Now, conformity has its place and its space. I'm not going to say it's all bad. I check it out. I feel it. I use all my 5 senses. I smell it. I taste it. I hear it. I feel it. All of the senses in there. I hear it. If it fits in my shondo, I work with it. If it doesn't fit in my shondo, I'm not going to conform. That's just me. And so more times than not, people see me as a non-conformist, but I feel like Crazy Berrytown, thank you for the raid. We got another raid, oh my God, we got another raid. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Crazy Berrytown. Lena, y'all doing it up today. What can I say? Oh my goodness. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome. And thank you, Crazy Berrytown. Mike City is a streamer. You guys, please go check Mike City out. Follow him. I'm gonna get all this out of the way and then I'm gonna finish answering your question. Please follow him. Please. He's an excellent streamer. He does music, he does gaming, he does it all. He's the man you want to follow. Shelly Nicole Cosplay in the house. She's a streamer. Man, I'm telling you, she's got everything you need in the way of your digital. She can hook you up, your design, everything from A to Z, your t-shirts, your emotes, whatever you need, Shelly's got it for you. And here comes Crazy Berrytown for everybody that's trying to get your body into shape. Zumba. We had some Zumba in July, Christmas in July. She had it going on. It was absolutely marvelous. This is my girl. Please follow these 3. Dr. Dady Priest is in the house. Y'all better ask somebody. Lord Jesus. Lord, we got all the heavy hitters in here today. Dr. Dady Tweez. Listen, that's my girl. I just want y'all to know, Everybody is, for real, for real. But Dr. Dady Priest gets all my mad respect because engagement matters is off the chain, and she's got so much good for self-improvement, for getting yourself out there. When you all see my mission statement roll around, that's because Dr. Dady Priest gave us an assignment, and I did my assignment, Dr. Dady. That's my high priestess. Welcome on up in here. I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm going to give a shout one more time, and then we're going to get back into this topic. Thank you, Raiders. Appreciate you. Mad love. And to all the mods that are in here, all the moderators that are in here, mod love and mad love to you too. All right. So when you talk about the whole idea, go ahead.
I would like for you to give me your personal definition of what do you think conforming is.
Okay. Conform, to change to, and really almost, if I say and form, like a conjunction, as in conform, I'm bringing something together. So I'm in the form, I'm joining myself to the form of whatever it is. So we got that prefix and we put it with that suffix. Is that all right? The prefix and the suffix, or the prefix and the root, really, the root here is form because there's no suffix on that word. If I take the prefix and it means together and to enjoin, and I'm forming, I'm conforming, I'm changing my form to whatever the form is. So
you better break that word down. First of all, you and them Latin skills, and you got the root, girl. You better break that word down. Let the folks know.
Listen, I had a Latin teacher, Dr. Doris Stith, and you had to get all of the prefix, suffix, and the root and put that thing together. So at the end of the day, you got to change and conform to whatever it is, and however it is that you're trying to be a part of. I think conformity has its good sides. Conformity has its bad sides. And again, I'm going to use all my 5 senses. Thank you for following, Lady Majin. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to be that person that will take an assessment of whatever it is I'm being asked to conform to, and some things I'm just not going to conform. So I'll let you go further. I don't know if did I answer your question, Lena?
Well, let me ask you this. Give me an example what you think, because I know you said there's positive and good to it. Give me an example of what you think conformity, when does it represent regression for you?
I'm going backwards when I'll take something as simple as I'm not going to get churchy, but I'm just going to use this because it's an easy example. Conformity to my church tradition would have been only males are allowed to participate in ministry. To me, if I had conformed to that and just taking that as my life's journey, and this is the way I operate, and conform to that rule and that constraint, I would never be the person that I am today. And so I'm not going to conform to that. I don't believe in it. I don't espouse to it. I'm not going to subject myself to that kind of idea. So when it goes against the grain of who I am and what I believe, I'm not going to conform. And to conform to it for me would be regression.
Wow. This is so, and this is interesting because, Angina, I was actually going to speak to you about this, but since you said that, I want to speak on this because I remember, for you guys who don't know, my grandmother just passed away, and yes. Spiritual thought leader actually did what do you call it, Angina? It's eulogy, right?
Yes, I eulogized her.
Spiritual thought leader eulogized her, but my grandmother, she had different pastors or whatever, so. We were on the front row, and I'm looking at where the minister sit, and I see, it was like 4 older guys, and they're, pastors, and they're men, and then I see, you sitting over there.
Yes.
It just, I don't know what it did to me, but just like seeing that, it made me think of you in a different light, because it made me realize that, okay, this is probably not the easiest space to be in as a woman. And since it's male dominated, and most people think, like what you said, it's not something for women, it's a men who are supposed to be the spiritual leaders or whatever. And so I just remember thinking, wow, this must have been a not only say rough space, but something you have to figure out how to,
navigate.
Maneuver.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that because I thought it was so interesting that time. And I mean, you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. It was great. It was awesome. You definitely gifted. And I understand that you can't conform to things when you know you are who you are.
Yes. I'm not going to not be who I am. I'm not. And now to throw that back in your ballpark, how do you feel your generation deals with conformity? What is conformity to you, and when do you feel that it's regression for you? And I'm going to ask you personally, and then I'm going to ask you to reflect on your generation. Because I really feel like as much as I don't conform, but I do try to have, whatever behind it. I feel like, man, I was just talking to somebody over lunch, literally about this less than an hour ago. And she has a granddaughter, and she's like, the minute you say something and you ask for conformity, you're going to automatically, unequivocally get out of my face. Stop talking to me, because I shall not conform. I don't care, good, bad, otherwise. She just ain't going to conform. And it's driving her nuts. So speak from your perspective. And then how do you see it from your perspective if you broaden that thing to your generation?
Well, I think and I believe that we're in the age of individualism. Everybody wants to understand themselves. They want to express themselves. If it's something they want to try, they want to be free to do that. And so when you have, and I know and I would be very like, I wouldn't want to be a parent right now because these kids, they're not, like you said, they see themselves as individual. They see themselves as powerful. They see themselves as being able to take care of themselves. My little cousin, and I'm just going to say this. I see my camera keep shaking. Let me stop pounding on this thing. My little cousin is 10 years old, and bought herself her own puppy. Her mama said she wouldn't buy a puppy. The girl done bought a pit bull puppy for $100. A 10-year-old.
You said what? You oh Lord Jesus.
These kids are different, okay? She's 10 years old. Her mother told her she would not buy her a puppy. Okay. This little girl, the puppy was actually $250. She done talked the man down to $100.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
How do you at 10 years old know how to get $100? She got a job, she babysits and everything. But I'm thinking about myself at that time. I didn't have a way I didn't think about how she has $100 to buy a puppy. It just blew my mind. And then she talked God down from $250 to $100.
So she's a negotiator. She's a negotiator. She knows how to negotiate, obviously. So that's a good skill. She's a lion. She got $100. She's a lion.
She's a self-starter. Because her mama said she's not going to get her puppy. She got her own puppy at 10.
But who's gonna feed the puppy? Who's gonna take care of the puppy? Who's gonna take the baby to the shots? Come on now, come on.
She got the $100 somewhere. She gonna keep babysitting to buy the food. She got Uber app. She gonna catch the Uber to go take the baby to the vet. And these kids, they don't think about going. It's weird. It's weird because it's so different from what it used to be. But I think that people want to be individuals sooner, and now it's like a possibility. Still wanted the same thing when we were younger, but it wasn't quite a possibility. Like now it is. You have kids that younger people that are making $1 million off the stock market.
You're right.
And they're not even, they haven't even taken college algebra yet.
Because listen, that's one of the things we had on our podcast this morning where Steve Harvey said education is not a factor. And I'm not saying that by all means. I believe get an education and da-da-da-da-da-da. But he talked about his friend that just was gifted to cut grass and has a $4 million company from cutting grass. And he's doing better than folk that went out there and got an education. And that's not to say don't get your education, but it is to say it's not about the education. John said, I saw her say, direct that child because she's on to something. She's a self-thinker. She's a self-starter. She has negotiation skills. And like you said, there are small children, 7, 8, 9 out here now. They have whole daggum corporations. So it's a different day. So when you start talking about conformity, my day would have been, child, you came home with a dog, you about to die. I told you no. You about to get over here and
about to get beat.
You about to get beat.
Get beat. I don't care if it's a puppy or not. Y'all getting on up here.
So you go ahead.
I think that was, things like that make me excited about the future. Now, you asked me what do I think is regression? I think when you conform and you when you are something, but you don't let yourself be expressed, and you're trying to conform to an idea, I think that's when you come to regression. Yeah, because you're basically going to be, stifled. And I could imagine, people who are very gifted, like the guy, and I've heard that Steve Harvey's friend who does the grass, and he has a $4 million company. If he, took on the idea that, look, you get an education, because that's what we teach everybody. Don't you worried about this grass, you trying to get this money. No, get the education. Once you get the education, you'll make the money. But really, if he wouldn't have stuck to his guns, he might have not been able to have a $4 million company. Correct. He might have, and so I think that's when it represents regression. Now, what do you think? Because a lot of people hear the word conformity and it's always, no, I'm not a conformer. But what do you think is an example of when it represents progression? When it is good?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, and before I go there, and I'm gonna answer your question, LaWanda, I see you. It was definitely a boss move. She wanted what she wanted. She paid for it. Before I go there, one reason threw something out to you, and he said, "Listen, he would have definitely, the dog would have gone back, but he would have had an impressive conversation with that child." What do you think about that kind of response? As we're talking about your generation and the generation behind you in conformity, because we were definitely of the generation, whatever your parents said, we're not gonna buck that. We're not gonna buck up against it. When you gave that story, my initial response was like a in my gut, but then it was like, she made a boss move. And that's kind of a change and transition in me, Lena, because my raising, my upbringing will be like, baby, I'm gonna beat the meat. I'm going to beat the meat till I can't beat no more, because I told you no.
And you going to learn today. I think that, he said he would take the puppy back, but have a conversation with her. I think we should be encouraging the children and younger people to, be self-starters and everything. But I think it's difficult for parents because it's like, it's like, where is the space for parenting, and where is the space for, advisement? And, it's like the kids don't value the parents because they feel like they know everything, or they want things a certain way. But it's like, there's a reason why you come to the earth the way you come to the earth. There's a reason why you have a mother. It's a reason why you have a father. And it's important to teach kids that they need advisement and they need teaching. And it's like a double-edged sword because, you want the kid to be an individual, but you also want to have room for them to be able to listen to you and take in the advice that you give them. Yeah. But it's almost as if the internet has kind of given vast knowledge to everybody. Yes. And so it almost a little bit away from the parenting because, before this generation, your knowledge came from the people your parents put you around, the situation that your parents put you in, the things that your parents gave you. Mm-hmm. Now it's you have this knowledge, this little thing that gives you all knowledge, mm-hmm. or not all knowledge, but most of it. And so you don't necessarily you're learning things from all different different places. Yes, and it changes the job of the parent kinda. I'm not quite sure if that's correct, but it changes the dynamic of parenting than from what it used to be.
Okay.
And so it's interesting. I'm trying to think, what would I do if my daughter came home with a puppy and I told her I'm getting, and then I'm like, where you get the money from? And I would be excited. I would be like, okay, because when she told me, I was completely surprised, and I was like, you know what? In my mind, I'm thinking this girl is not going to have any problems when she get older, as far as finding, being able to take care of herself. Because if you can figure out what to do to get what you need and want in life, you should be okay. But on the other hand, I'm like, now your mama told you couldn't get a puppy. What's going on?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
Well, you kind of touched on something, and I'm gonna share. I was talking with somebody, and the daughter, the mother was really trying to shelter the child tremendously, and so she said, "Let me kind of set the stage." One baby had SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. So she lost a daughter. 4 children, 2 boys left, 1 girl, and then the other little girl died. So at one point, the mother is dealing with the daughter and very, very protective, and overly so. She said, in hindsight is 2020. In hindsight, she was over the top, because you take all of this into consideration, and you've lost a child to SIDS. So you're gonna there might be a real tendency to overshadow that child, especially the girl. So it was over the top, and it was smothering the child. So the child went to the mother, and she had a rule. The child went to the mother. She didn't try to cheat, go behind her back or anything. Went to the mother. Mother said, "I said what I said." Basically, Nene Leakes. I said what I said. Child goes, "Yes, I said what I said." She goes to her room, slams the door. Dad goes to the room and asks the child, what's wrong? And the child tells her what happened. And he said, "Well, why are you mad?" She said, "Because I got to do what mama said." And he said, "Why?" And the mama got mad at her. At that point, mama is mad at the daddy.
Listen. Y'all got to come as a united front. It doesn't work any other way. Listen.
Yeah. But she said she did realize in hindsight that the rule was really over the top. Now, I'm with you. I believe in the united front, but Dad was trying to be a balancer. Now, I really think he should have talked to Mom first before he just popped up and popped off. But nonetheless, he was trying to be a balancer in the situation. But as Mom said, she wasn't hearing nobody. So, he might as well have said what he was going to say to her, because she wasn't going to hear him either. So, how do you feel like that type of behavior impacts kids, your generation? Did you have, did you feel, anyway, let me just throw that out there and see what you think about that.
Yeah, listen, let me see. One reason said, "We ain't keeping the dog in here, but let's talk about the money and this career." Exactly. Listen, LaWanda, what is it?
Baskerville
said, "I agree with that too, because it couldn't have been my child. Define what we said. No means no, but you work your way to your yes, mutually and respectfully. A dog is a bit much to handle." Let me tell you something. She got a pit bull puppy. It's a little puppy, but these dogs get humongous. Y'all know what a pit bull look like.
And they eat.
They eat like a man.
Like 2 kids.
2 kids. And you know what? Once you eat, you got to get that stuff out. And they do that like a man, too. You know what I mean? You going to that up. Honey, I'm with LaWanda.
Okay.
No, man.
So you feel, even in the scenario that I just gave you with the situation where the mom and dad are disagreeing, you feel like whatever parent said it first, even if they may be wrong, no means no to the child. No means no to the child.
I think the dad should have went to the mom and they should have talked about it and then went to the kid. Because I think what's going to happen is the next situation will be another situation. The kid's going to go to the dad first, and then the mom's going to be left out. And then some, I think that like what there was a statement. You have to, it's a fine line, you know, you have to realize that your kid is not just your kid, that is an actual person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have to be able to be open to, you know, be flexible a little bit and talk through things.
Okay.
And especially because, and then also that's going to teach your kid, and you know, I don't got no kids, so, you know, it's just all theory over here.
Come on.
But I think teach your children to be able to work with confrontation and work through confrontation, not just I said what I said. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You teach your children to, okay, everything's not going to be a yes in life, even in your own personal life, even with friends, with family, with situations at work. And so you have to learn how to deal with those situations.
Yeah.
You have to learn to express your opinion, explain your opinion, be able to actually talk and not just, you know, well, she said what she said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's good to just have the conversation. And I don't think that has to be about, I don't think that makes the kid conform or the parent conform. I think that is just actual relationship building.
I
That's
agree.
what I think.
I agree. And I'm all for the relationship building, but unfortunately, like you're pointing out, when people hear conformity, they see conformity as a win or lose situation. Somebody's winning, somebody's losing, somebody's, you know, somebody's getting a benefit, somebody's not, somebody's getting short edge of the stick. Rural Confession said they're playing both ends against the middle, and that happens a lot. Now, when you go back to me, I no meant no, I would have said back in the day, when you talk about my conformity and where I see progress, where I'm progressing. Back in the day, I would have been a strong advocate. No means no, and da 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 da. In this age and stage of my life, in this scenario, I feel like communication and conversation needs to happen. And I'm not going to say the dog goes back. I'm not going to say the dog stays. I'm going to say communication needs to happen between us and the child. And I not for the sake of looking like I'm giving in and no didn't mean no, but let's talk it through. Let's look at it as many angles as we can look at this. And then let's come to a place where we can talk together. Now I'm going to bring that right on into when you ask me where have I seen myself progress. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Before we get there, let's do this. One reason said also, though, everything doesn't need to be discussed and explained. Now, I think this is the difference between the generations right here.
Yes, go ahead. Break it down, Lena. Break it down.
Because this, and you know what my mother used to say whenever I would ask for something, Mama, this and that, and she would say no. I was like, but mama, and I come up, you know, I got this creative mind.
You do.
But look, and what she started saying was, I think about it, and what I realized is that after a while, I realized I think about it actually meant no. It put me off the track for a little bit, and then I forget to come back to it because she's thinking about it. So I think that's funny, but I think that this comment, I think that that's going to be the difference between the generations, because back in the day, you could say that, you know, you could be like, you know, I'm not about to sit here and explain to this child, you know, and I'm not sure if that's exactly what they mean, but they would say, you know, what I say is what goes. And that was the position of the parent. And that was the power of the parent, you know, and the kid would just have to be like, okay, whatever. But me personally, I think that like what you were saying, conversation and explaining to the kid is good, because they need to, you know, it needs to be explained to them. That's my opinion. And when y'all get to talking, y'all can see from each other's perspectives. Yeah. As opposed to just saying, it, you know, I said what I said now, and that's it. Yeah. Go ahead.
So that's bringing me to the point when you asked me where have conformity and progression. I have chosen to take the position as I've gotten older, and this isn't where I started. I started with, I said what I said, and I'm going, you know, what I said meant it's not up for discussion. What I am going to say, I've conformed to the concept and idea that folks need to talk, even little folks. Little folks have a mind, little folks have an opinion, little folks have ideas, little folks have the ability to communicate what's on their mind if you give them an opportunity to talk. And so I think what I've learned over time, I've conformed to the idea away from my immediate reactionary upbringing that often ended in a beating if you didn't agree. Or my way is the way or no way at all, which is the level of my upbringing. And my parents were not abusive. So let me clarify that. But it was just very matter of factly. But that matter of factly behavior cut off all types of communication. So what I have seen, not only from my own personal experience, but also as a spiritual thought leader, your child doesn't talk to you, but your child will call me. Your child will come to me. Your child will connect with me. And so I'm having conversations with your children that you should be having with your children. But because you have a position of my way or no way, and my way or hit the highway, your kids are, even though their bodies are still in your house, your bodies are hitting your children's, they're hitting the highway. They're calling my phone. They're going someplace else. So I just thank God they're coming to me, because some of the children are going places where they really don't need to go, and they really don't need to get the information. So I just feel like the parents, number one, we got to deal. This is a totally different generation. You're not going to just tell them what to do. It's the different day. They got to teach you how to use your cell phone and your technology. Don't think that you gonna bust up all of a sudden, because they can go to Google. What you don't know, Google knows more than you know as a parent.
Will explain from the rooter to the tutor.
It will explain it and break it down, baby. It will break it down. So, this is what parents are going to have to deal with. Your child is going to bypass you if you insist on having this my way or no way, because they don't think like we thought, and they're not scared like we were scared. They're not intimidated. They don't care about that.
At all. I think it's important. Now, as far as being in a situation where I think what it is that parents have gotten that upbringing. And so they don't realize that they have more learning to do also. Like, your kids come to you, and it's not just you teaching them, they're going to be teaching you also in ways.
Absolutely.
And so you've learned this is how you were grown. I think you have to be open to learning new ways and learning new because y'all don't know how to communicate. Well, I'm sorry. We didn't learn, they didn't give you a class to learn how to communicate. That's why you just saying it is what it is. But it's important for you to just learn. They got communication books. This is not something that people really teach you. But they got communication books. They have groups that you can, you know what I mean? And it's important to be able to communicate yourself and understand how you actually feeling.
Right.
That's your whole college course, really.
Well, sometimes the parents are not in touch with themselves, and they haven't worked through all their stuff, so they really don't know how to generate and create a wholesome conversation, a relationship with the kids, and so they mimic and they imitate what they came from, and sometimes that wasn't healthy.
This is true. It's interesting. It really is interesting, because when you think about social norms, actually, I want to ask you that. What do you think, like, socially conforming? What is your opinion about that? Because it's like some things that everybody's doing doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad or, run of the mill. But why do you think it is so common for people to do the same thing that they see other people doing?
Sometimes people do what they see other people doing because they're followers like that, and they feel like they want acceptance. They feel like they don't want to be the odd person out. They feel like they don't want to be the one that doesn't fit. They don't, people want acceptance. They don't want rejection. So rejection is huge, and rejection and fear of rejection for people that like to control, it's wielded and used very powerfully to keep people fearful. I'm like this: you can reject me or accept me, I don't care. Now, I wasn't always like this, but I'm like that at this point of my life. You can accept me or reject me, I don't care. So I'm not going to conform just because everybody else is doing it. There are a lot of people, a lot of reasons why people conform. I'm not exactly, ask me a specific, because depending on, now when you get into social welfare, when you get into the dynamics that deal with civil rights and all of that, listen, there's no quit, no conformity in me there. So depending on what you're talking about, if it's other areas of social conformity, I might not, but I'm always going to be driven by my conscience. For me, I'm going to,
well, let's talk about, have you did you read about Simone Biles and how she pulled out of the Olympics because she was getting, or she needed to take care of herself, and so everybody was giving her slack and everything.
Yeah.
What do you think about her doing that? Because that's definitely the opposite of conforming. Because I think before, in older generations, if you had an issue or a problem, you don't pull out, you work through it.
Yeah. I feel like that was go ahead.
It's reminding me of that video. They played every Olympics of the one lady, and she broke her foot, but she had one last jump to do. It was gymnastics. She had one last jump thing they do, and she did it with a broken foot. And now she's, the greatest of all time because she pushed through that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like today, in today's time, it's different thinking. You wouldn't think, oh, let me just go for it. You would think, let me wait for my foot to heal so I can have more races.
Mm-hmm.
So, the thing with Simone Biles, I wonder what is making people so upset about her deciding to take her time to get herself together.
Salute to Simone. I see you, SK, and I feel exactly the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So, my personal opinion, whether you take a Simone Biles, whether you take a Naomi Osaka, all of these individuals are showing, and especially when they're highlighting mental health, and particularly for the Black community, because the Black community needs mental health. We need mental health. I just can't press it and stress it enough. We need mental health. We have mental health issues, and we have got to stop and take the time to take care of our minds. So I think what we are seeing from these young lions, I think it's a lion's move. And I think what they're expressing is, now, some people are not going to agree with me here, and that's okay. But for years, we have taken particularly the Black athlete, the talented Black athlete, and we've made them nothing more than dogs in a dog fight. Mm-hmm. We've made them nothing more than cocks in a cockfight. We've made them no more than animals for entertainment and treat them as if they're not people. The sports arena has treated them like that, and in human beings toward one another and their opinions have treated them like that. Shut up and play. That's a whole concept of go in there, kill the other cock, and whoever's gonna win die. We could care less about you. Just go in there and entertain us. I think Black athletes and Black entertainers and people, period, are waking up and saying, this is a sport, this is a gift that I have, but you're not going to treat me like I'm some kind of animal, because I have a life, I have emotions, I have a mind, I have feelings. You're not just going to throw me in this arena for your entertainment, and then after I do this and I'm broken up and toe up from the floor up over here on the side looking sad and can't sleep and about to kill myself, y'all going on to the next one. I'm not going to do it anymore. So I think it's a lion's move, and I applaud them.
Yes, and I think it's going to be a great example for people to see, and hopefully, people can start to see, to change their self,
Yeah.
And you may not be an athlete, but you may be in some situations to where you're just going and going and going, and you realize that something's not, you need to help whatever is sick inside you and take a break.
Yeah. And I want to say this, Lena, I'm going to applaud your age group because they're in your age group. I'm going to applaud your age group and say this: they're not the first ones to feel this way. They're just the first ones to stand up and say, we're not going to do it.
Exactly. I love that. Now, okay, we talk about athletes and things like that. Now, what about, this is interesting because when you think about conforming and things like that, my mind goes to, the professional world. Mm-hmm. And I think Black women in professional positions. And I want to ask you, what's your opinion about it? Because have you ever heard of or realized like some people, you talk different when you're at work as opposed to when you're home, or you wear your hair a certain way for work as opposed to when you're at home. And this is specifically, not specifically, but more so towards the, Black women or Black men too, and having to kind of conform to the idea of what a professional looks like. And even kids in school, I've seen stories where kids with locks have had to cut their hair off because, they've said it's not a part of the dress code or something of that nature. What's your opinion on that?
I am not my hair. Come on, India.Arie. I feel like when you start talking about social norms and conformity, particularly as it relates to people of color, I think we did a thing this morning, and I'm just throw this out again. There was a study that was released by Boston University that says, and this is true, after 60,000 Black women that they followed in this study, the lie in perm is a factor for Black women's aggressive breast cancer. The lie in perm. Did you hear what I said? The lie in perm. They are now producing the studies that show this is causing a tremendous number and a high percentage of aggressive breast cancer in Black women. So when I looked at that, the first thing came to my mind is, why are we doing the lie on our hair anyway? Is to look more European. Hello. The conformity. The standard was, don't be going in there with your hair nappy. Now, come on now. It wasn't no happy and nappy. It wasn't no happy and nappy. Don't be walking up in there with your hair nappy. Mm-hmm. And so, don't have no little afro under there. Go back and get some butter. Listen, I had a little bitty, that child, I want to say she was maybe 4. And I was going back. Now, anybody know me? I'm that weekly one that used to sit in the chair every week. Thank you, Sheila Miles, for liking the stream. I'm that, my hair was always every week. You can testify. I ain't lying. Now, these folk here don't know anything about that because this is a different me. But my hair was fried, dyed, and laid to the side all the time.
Hey, you hear me? Not a straggler, nothing.
Not it one. There's not a hair. No, not one. That's gonna be out of place. But this is what I'm looking at now. And when I read that this morning, I'm gonna tell you what I honestly felt. And when they talked about the high statistics of Black women that have died from this aggressive breast cancer that's caused by this lie in the hair care. And I'm like, how many Black women have given their lives in the quest of trying to look Europeanized instead of just being the skin and the hair that we're in?
Yes. I agree with you. I think that my personal opinion would be, wear your hair how you want to wear it, be who you are, and just be, and whatever comes from it, that's what. But I had read this article in Essence magazine. It was basically talking about hair for Black women, and it took the perspective from a professional Black woman in corporate America. And it also took from 3 different women that were in 3 different fields of work. And so, I think that people in corporate America kind of have, it's a little, they don't have the ability, or I'm trying to think of the words to say. They're not just able to wear their hair how they want to. They can when they work, but it's like it will literally hold them back from where they want to go in the company simply because of how their hair looks. So I think it's different for them, I think, because I've spoken to a few people in the corporate America, and this is kind of the census a little bit. And it's like a big deal to be able to just wear your hair natural. Mm-hmm. And I've even, and watching TV shows, I've seen an episode of Living Single. Mm-hmm. That was back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Talking about they were talking about the guy who had dreads. He had a whole episode on dreads and being in corporate America and how they told him to cut it or whatever. And it's just interesting that we're still dealing with these same issues 20 and 30 years later. So, you know, in that instance, I feel like conformity is almost survival, because you cannot conform and stay where you are. But if you do conform, then you're able to get to the levels a little faster or higher than what you were able to before.
But how will we affect change if we continue the same way that we have now? I'm not taking any props, because my natural my natural reality, my hair was always permed, so I don't think I can say anything. My clothes were always corporate professional. You know, I looked like I belonged there, so I can't take any of for the people that stood out there and did something differently. I wasn't trying to be different. That was just the way that I dressed, and that was the way that I groomed. However, looking back in retrospect, I think that had I taken on the natural, this is the way my hair is and I'm going to wear my hair, and so on and so forth, I think I probably would have potentially had a totally different outcome. I don't know, but I looked the part and I looked like an acceptable Negro.
Well, let me see. Michelle Brown, it said, it is. My supervisor wears a wig at every corporate annual meeting. Listen, you got to get that thing braided down and glued to it. Have you seen? Okay, I don't know if any of our viewers wear like lace front wigs or anything, but have you seen the process?
No, I haven't.
Let me tell you something. They're doing some really, I mean, this stuff is amazing. These processes to get this hair right is amazing. I love it. But what comes to my mind is, I'm a hairstylist.
You are?
I do a lot of hair. And so I had this one client and I would always do her hair, but she would always get weave. And, she had natural hair, natural, and it was pretty, whatever, but she would always get weave on top. But it made me feel weird, because every time we would do her hair, she would be like, oh, thank you for making me feel pretty or look pretty again. And wow. She would say that every time. Mm-hmm. And it made me feel like as a hairstylist, I'm perpetuating this idea of beauty on Black women. And some women really don't like their natural hair. They don't feel beautiful with their natural hair. And here I am telling them, oh, you're beautiful, but let me put these tracks on top of you.
Let me throw this out here. Let me be transparent and throw this out, Lena. So take this from me as somebody that I'm having a hard time, and you tell me how you feel about what I'm getting ready to say. So hold on to your weave, hold on to your wig, because this might blow you out. Hold on to it. Now, okay. I always had my hair permed, Lena. And yes. I do not. Now, you see this hat on right now, because there are just not enough things that I can do. I really don't like my natural hair, but let's get down to the soul of the matter. Come on, this is where I want you to ride with me, and you tell me what you think as a beautician. Okay. I was raised in the time in the 60s, Black was not in. Now, if y'all know the time, if y'all remember when Black wasn't in, y'all put something in the chat. Black was not fashionable. I'm talking about my skin tone, and I'm talking about amongst other Black folk. Other Black folk called me Little Black Sambo. Other Black folk called me Tar Baby. Other Black folk called me Black Skin Blackie. Other Black people called me that. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So I think psychologically, the one place that I couldn't lighten my skin. I couldn't, those places of complexion. I don't have any charge over that. But I definitely, and I'm sitting there thinking now, is that why I had my hair done every single week? Because I don't want to have Black nappy hair. I'm just trying to, I'm playing psychology here with my own self. Because at the end of the day, I did not want my hair. I sat in that chair every week and you know I'm not lying. I wasn't a 2-week customer. I was in the chair every week, and my hair was done. However, you see the hat on my head because I don't like natural hair. So you tell me, am I tripping? Is this some of my trauma from blackness that done rubbed off on me? I'm gonna let y'all psychoanalyze me out there in the chat too. But that's real.
Lord. Well, oh Jesus. Well, somebody said it's a form of self-hate. Somebody said you tripping. Natural, he loves your natural looks general. So, this is a generational difference. It is kinda, because a lot of this is just what everybody was taught back in the day. Everybody had a relaxer back in the day. Everybody. I remember being 7 and begging my mama for a perm.
Yes.
Well, it's a relaxer. We call it perm. Begged. I mean, cried, snot nose, everything. Begged for a relaxer. Aunt Jean. It's a process. I'm not even gonna tell you a story. It's a process. When you go natural, I went natural in high school. And actually, the reason I went natural is because, when you get a relaxer, everybody know, whoever get a relaxer, you cannot scratch your head a week before you get that relaxer. Mm-hmm. If you scratch your head a week before you get that relaxer, you're going to be burning.
Yes.
And if you burn, you're going to not get your hair as straight as you needed to. So It's just like, I stopped. I ended up going natural because I was tired of not being able to scratch my head. Mm-hmm. And that's it. I went natural. And so...
Did you see what Oso said? Go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry. Oso said, he said verbatim, he remembered his mother telling him, boy, don't you bring me home no nappy head girl. Mm-hmm. Now, that's real talk, though. That's real talk.
It's real talk. It's real talk. But you know what? Everybody that's black got nappy hair. If your hair's not nappy, then you probably got something mixed in. And that is it.
But when your mother says to you, now, this is what I'm going to say, too, because do you remember in the 60s, I'm a child of the 60s, and the afro was in? My sisters and I were not allowed to wear an afro. You were not coming home with the afro in my mother's house. You were going to have and at that point, that predates perm. That's before Vigoro showed up. Y'all don't even know nothing about Vigoro. Before Vigoro showed up on the scene, before Vigoro ever was, my mother said, you are not coming in here with no afro. We going to sit down here with this pressing comb and we going to press your hair. You're not coming in here with nappy hair.
But yes, but then, I think you have to think about that time frame. It was revolutionary for people to be wearing their natural hair, afros. But I think that, when you come from, the enslaved people, and then you think about the progression of that and what being black represented self-consciously, and trying to make it in a world that does not like you or agree with you and don't want you there. You know what I mean? And so I think that it's survival. I think when they started using relaxer and everything, it was a form of surviving and a form of being able to exist in a world where you are not wanted or seen as fully a person. You know what I mean? I mean, you just had to do it.
Yeah.
And when the 70s came and then people started, just wanted to be who they are, I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes to, hey, you can still exist in this world and be yourself. And it was the start of something that was really great. But I think that it's a process. Still to this day, it's a process.
So if we look at, like, I'm going to go to what Oso said, why can't black women love their natural selves? Why can't we love our natural selves? And again, we're talking generation. And I saw, let's see, looks like one reason the 60s was the Black is Beautiful. But that was for a generation of people that were in revolution. Some of the parents that were still coming from that old, they were not embracing that. Everybody black was not embracing that. Some from the old school and the school of thought about, that was radical, that was unacceptable, it was crazy stuff. So that would be where my mother and father would have come in during the 60s, even though I was a child of the 60s. You're not going out here with your hair all over your head. That would be their perspective. But this is the thing I think we have to look at, is then that whole element of when your parents, especially for black girls, when your mothers, or even with also your black mother who would tell you don't bring you no nappy head girl back to the house, then you understand the pressure that was on black women to conform. And this topic is about conformity. I mean, that's a tremendous pressure, and that is something that can have roots. Even me now, I got natural hair on my head, but I'm still trying to adapt to it because I was taught and it was embedded in me. Now I don't look at people with natural hair and say, "Ooh, that's your nappy." Now wait a minute. Now let me keep it real. Let me bring this back. Some of these young folk that walk out the house, I want y'all to comb y'all's hair. I mean, that hair look like y'all just, you done laid on it. It's matted. It's everything. But, you know, I just like, can you please comb your hair? That still may be some of my baggage. But some of these, I'm like, that ain't even a style. That's just nappy head up on your hair that you won't even comb and groom. I do have a problem with that, Lena. I got a problem with that.
You ain't got to comb natural hair. They got something called free-form locks, and they're beautiful. And all you do is nothing. You let them grow.
Lena.
And so I think that
you don't think you need to comb your hair. That's almost like Kusher. What's his name? Kusher. What's his name? He's an actor. Kush. Huh? I don't know who he is. He's out. He's been out because him and his wife said they don't need to wash. They don't need to bathe. And I'm like, Ashton, that's it. Thank you, One Reason. Ashton Kutcher. Is that his name? That joker said they don't need to bathe. They don't need to bathe every day. They bathe when they need to, and they don't bathe the children either. Now, I'm like, to me, bathing is the same as I need you to bathe. I need you to comb your hair. Don't just get up out the bed and come on, Lena. Now, your hair just all pushed over to the side. I don't know. Y'all pray for me. Y'all pray for spiritual thought leader. I can't cut whatever the boy's name is. Comb your hair and take a bath. That's all I'm gonna say.
All I'm saying is sometimes you need to walk. You need to know yourself in the funky state sometimes. It's not 100% always gotta be, you know what I mean? Be yourself. And you know what? I look at people, I like natural hair because if you look at it and it hasn't been combed or brushed or whatever, it's not groomed, it looks like art to me. That's why I love.
You say what now? It looks like art.
It looks like art. But I love freeform locks, and I just love the way they look, and it's just amazing to me because it's just forming, and you're not doing anything to it. Like the hair is alive, and that's why I think that
I need some bliss oil.
I say to each his own. You know, I don't think you're gonna ever be able to grow out of that because it's how you were taught. So I think that, you know, if you want to let your hair just go and see what happens, I think it's great. But if you don't, if you want to groom it, I say groom it. But the issue is that you have to be able to love yourself and see the value in yourself, even when you're not of the standard. You know, even when your hair is not done, even when you can't walk in the house looking crazy, I think you got some self-work to do.
Lena, okay, so they talking about your statement, you got to know yourself in your funky state.
Listen, get over here. You got to know yourself in the funky state. You got to, because you know what? At some point in your life, let me get my Obama thumb. At some point in your life, you're going to go through something that's going to tear you down to your bare bones. And you're going to be in the funky state.
But do you have to be funky on purpose? Do you have to be funky? That time is going to come, but do you have to be funky outside of that? You know,
Listen, what's wrong with being a little funky sometimes? What's wrong with it? Look. What? Who does it hurt?
Like not combing your hair. You said the hair is alive and it's doing what it wants to do.
Wait. Somebody said, I won't hold this against you.
Now, just so you know, Lena is one of the most immaculate, clean persons you ever wanted to meet. So I'm listening to her and I'm like, girl, you talking, but listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, you ain't never gonna smell this child. You ain't never, ever gonna smell this child, and she gonna smell good when you do smell her. You ain't never gonna smell her.
And let's get real here. Because I'll share a little bit about myself. I am that person. I am I have a complex about odor.
Yes.
And so, and I realized it after I've done some self-healing, but when I was younger, I would be cleaning myself to the point where I am raw.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm so afraid or worried about body odor, because I know if you have body odor, then people are going to, and also I'm a plus size woman.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have body odor and it's three skinny women next to a big woman, I'm automatically think it's the bigger woman, because it's just it's the way people think.
That's true.
And so when I was younger, I would literally body odor, like if I go somewhere and I smell something, if I could just have taken a shower,
mm-hmm.
I could have 30-minute shower, fresh deodorant, powder. That's when people were wearing powder, everything. And I go somewhere and I smell an odor, my mind automatically thinks it's me. Mm-hmm. And so I would just like, I gotta go because I need to go take another shower. And so I got to the point where I realized that's not healthy.
Right.
Like I'm a human, this is a body. This is a human. It's gonna have smells sometimes, okay? And so even if have a smell, it doesn't take away from my value. Yes. It doesn't mean I'm not worth it. It doesn't mean I'm not a good woman and anything. So I had to come to a point where it's like, some days everything ain't gonna smell fresh, and I'm not going to see myself in a lower state. I'm a human, and that's what it is. So no, I listen. I've learned myself in the funky state, okay, listen, and it's okay.
I got you. I got Stacy said it's the skinny girls that stink. They talking about Tussie, girl.
Not the Tussie. I had the powder before the bouncer, everything. You take it back. Skinny girls, we love the skinny girls. We love the big girls. Bodies have odors. It's okay. We're all human.
Okay? I got you. So
if your friend has an odor, let her know, hey, you all right? And she'd be like, no, it's just a funky day. Like, all right, well, I'm going to sit over here. You sit over there. That's it.
But are all of these elements of conformity? Are these elements of conformity? For real, for real.
Well, I mean, why do you clean yourself? Is it because, is it because you think people are going to see you differently if you have an odor, or is it because you just want to be clean?
During COVID, a whole lot of people stank because they didn't have to go nowhere and they knew nobody was going to see them. Nobody's going to smell them. And for some people, they just was stanky. So thank you, Armani Gmal. Thank you for subbing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, those are some things. You didn't get up and put clothes on. You didn't get up and bathe. You didn't get up and comb your hair. Is this really you, or is this conformity?
Is it conformity? Because, some cultures don't wear deodorant, and their natural smell is that's what it smells like.
And that's true. That's true.
So you have to consider what you're doing and why you're doing it. And now I'm going to continue to wear deodorant. Now, I am not going to lie to you. I am. But I think that you have to be, like I said, you just have to be okay with yourself in different states. That's just what I think. That's where I'm at.
But do we recognize, going back to your whole initial question and point, do we recognize that all of these different elements that we're talking about really address conformity?
I think it gets deep. AJ, are you able to load that video that I put in there? Let's
roll that. Which one you want me to roll, baby?
The second one, not the one with the red sweater. The guy with the red sweater.
Okay. Do you want the guy with the red sweater?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get it loaded up and you tell me when you're ready. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, you tell me when you're ready. Oh, shoot.
The ash.
Okay, wait, let me read this. Oh, they're going too fast. Wait.
What you want me to go back to?
I was trying to read this this statement. So, oh no, also said, I just want to date someone who is smelling all good and stuff. Then 3 years down the line, her real self starts showing and smelling funky. Well, you know.
Even that addresses the conformity that we go through to dating conformity, because certain things you're going to do that it's not really who you are, but because dating requires it. I mean, you know, it's almost like you get that person and man, all during we call it the dating in the honeymoon phase. But should it really be a dating in the honeymoon phase? You're really saying, I'm going to conform to this expectation because I want to catch whoever it is. I want to get somebody. But you're conforming and changing for the rules and expectations of dating and honeymoon. But if that's not really who you are, you know, if that's not really who you are, 3 years or 3 months down the road, somebody gonna be funky. You get the real one reason. You get the real. So, I mean, all of these, I'm going to go back to Lena. These are all levels of conformity that we deal with. And at the end of the day, is that really who I am? Or am I conforming based on the rules of dating? You don't go out there. You put your best foot forward. You're not going to come out looking like Attila the Hun.
At all. And I just want to let y'all know, nobody smells like watermelon naturally. Nobody smells like vanilla naturally.
Come on.
Nobody smells like Axe naturally. That's some extra stuff. So y'all need to get to know yourself. So y'all fall in love with perfume and makeup, and it's a whole person up underneath that smell and all that on the face. That's all I'm saying.
Now that is true. That is really true. That really is true. Good morning. Good afternoon, Mino 3782. And everybody else that's come in that I've missed you. I'm sorry. We've been in this conversation. Thank you for coming into the Lion's Den. We appreciate you here at Reboot. But at the end of the day, that's all still levels of conformity going on there.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, but I think it's people want to be accepted. People want to be loved, and, you know, people want to be desired. But I think it's important, you know, it's the same. Some women don't even like use the bathroom in front of their mate. Like, you've never smelled anything bad from your person, or like, that's not realistic. I don't think so.
Well, I'm that person that, you know, when I pass gas, I will excuse myself if I can from the room. If I can't, that's okay, depending on how well I know you. But at the end of the day, my response, as you know, it's a natural phenomenon. So acting like people don't pass gas, to me, that's not even reality.
We all doing it.
Everybody.
7 billion of us passing gas.
Everybody's passing gas.
Everybody.
Okay,
go ahead.
You ready to roll it?
I want to look at this video and then we can have a conversation about it.
Okay, here we go.
The Asch experiment is one of psychology's oldest and most popular pieces of research. A volunteer is told that he's taking part in a visual perception test. What he doesn't know is that the other participants are actors, and he's the only person taking part in the real test, which is actually about group conformity.
Please begin. The experiment you will be taking part in today involves the perception of line length. Your task will be simply to look at the line here on the left and indicate which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. So, for example, if you...
The actors have been told to match the wrong lines. The volunteer will be monitored to see if he gives the correct answer or if he goes along with the opinion of the group and gives the wrong answer. In the first test, the correct answer is 2.
1. 1. 1.
2.
1. Once again, the correct answer is 2.
3.
3. 3.
3.
3.
The Ash experiment has been repeated many times, and the results have been supported again and again. We will conform to the group. Again, we're very social creatures. We're very much aware of what the people around us think. We want to be liked. We don't want to be seen to rock the boat, so we will go along with the group. Even if we don't believe what people are saying, we'll still go along.
1.
1. 1.
1. Group dynamics is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology.
1. 1.
Okay, Lena. So that was good. That was good. Let me get it back to. Okay, let me bring it on down. I'm let me see. I'm having a little bit of difficulty.
That video is very interesting to me, and I actually love studies like this or tests like this because literally see this man going through changes, trying to say what he thinks and believes is going on.
Yes.
And he like, it was like, it's like a tug of war. Like he knows this is not right, but everybody else is saying that it's different. And so he just like, it's just interesting to see that.
It was really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. And I do know scenarios that actually operate like that. I'm not the one. I would have kept saying 2. That's just me. Mm-hmm. I would have kept saying 2.
Now, and Jean, is that something that you feel like you learned, and you have an example of that, and so that's why you're that way, or is that something that you feel like it was just in you?
Now, honestly, I feel that because I already felt like the odd person out, maybe, as I look back in retrospect, in hindsight, because I was already the odd person out. I went to a predominantly all-white school. As a matter of fact, when I was in grade school, my class was doing good if I had 2 black children in the class, myself and another friend. Sometimes 3, maybe 4. We were whopping if we had 5. And then being extremely dark complected and being an outcast with other black people. I think I've always felt and sensed a matter of being an outsider. And so being an outsider doesn't, it's like I learned how to embrace the outsidership, if I can call it that.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think that, it's interesting because I personally feel like it's something that, and I think in your instance, it's something that you learn. And so if you're in that space to where you're not necessarily connected to a lot of people, and then you're able to learn to like speak on your own.
I came from a church that demanded conformity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean you know the background and the trappings of that, but I mean it's all conformity or you going to hell. So no ifs, ands, buts about it. And everybody that's not conforming to this mindset right here, they going to hell. I don't care if they are saying they know Jesus, they still going to hell. So I think that all of my life experience has made me stop and really assess conformity and what do I want to conform to. And I think I've been looking at that as an issue since I was a little bitty kid, maybe when other little kids wasn't thinking about it. And it's like at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I feel is right. And I can remember as a small kid, even before I got to school, saying and listening to the teachings and saying, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that either. So I don't know. I guess I've always had just a little dab of I'm not going to conform. If I don't believe that, I'm just not going to conform to that.
Yeah. Michelle said we were going to hell if you didn't wear a dress to church. No pants ever. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you mean? No pants to church? We didn't have pants, period. But I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. So yeah, I mean, you know, when you have yourself placed in a situation where nonconformity is not accepted, and this is a word to the wise, even to speak to, I think, your generation. Do you think your generation are largely nonconformist because those of our generation, we had the backlash of against conformity, but you know, we were so mad, you know, but yet and still we were still scared, so we conformed to a lot of stuff. And then your generation's like, no, we just ain't doing that. We just plain and simple, we no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We just ain't doing it.
I think that it's, you know, it's easier because there's so many things you can be exposed to, that you see different ways of living. You see different people doing different things. And so it's like you get more of a choice, you know? So I think that this generation, I think that they do conform, but I think that it's two different things. It's not to what was done back in the day, it's to new things. You know, I think that social media and things of that nature, when you see different things that you like, you conform to it, you know, or you don't. Or if people, you know, the whole use of social media, we conform to that. I remember being in high school when they first came out with the touchless phones, no buttons. And I remember telling my friends, I will never get a phone without buttons. I love a button. I love to push a button. There's no sense in that. Why do I want a touchscreen? I don't need it. And now they don't make phones without buttons. So I have to conform.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go here. Because I guarantee you a lot of people heard about our topic on the Friday night that got hot and heated, right? Mm. So I want you to be honest. So anybody that is not able to handle it, we getting ready to go R-rated. So just go ahead and log off. We love you. We'll see you next time. But here we go. And you know,
come on.
Okay. So now I really want to ask. I listened to you and Shelly talk about the sexual explosion and the sexual freedom that your generation has really been completely open with, the openness. Okay, so do you feel, and this is a genuine question, I'm asking you this from a genuine place, particularly when we were talking about the openness to either give a smash pass. You know, I just can't imagine a smash pass from my significant other or my partner. So whether we're talking about giving a smash pass, which for your generation is completely, that's cool, or whether it's a matter of when you start talking about okay, so so break down what a smash pass is, Lena, for the generation that is not clear on the smash pass.
So a smash pass is like when you're in a relationship or a marriage and you're in a committed relationship and you have celebrities or people that's kind of out of the reach. So it's like, if you reach that person, you have my permission to smash them or, you know, have sex with them. So like if I was in, who would be my smash? Who would I ask? I don't know who I would ask, but okay, so let's say you're in a relationship and your crush is 50 Cent. So if you ever come in contact with 50 Cent at a club or something and he just so happened to push up on you, that's you can do it because that's your smash pass, because that's like a once in a lifetime experience. Like, are you really gonna pass up on this celebrity or Chris Brown? Let's say it was Chris Brown, or maybe he's not a good one, but you know, I'm trying to think of somebody. I don't know. Maybe it was Chris Brown, and you got the opportunity, but you're in a relationship. But it's just like such an amazing like experience.
Yeah,
that's a smash pass.
Yeah. So, and I see you also saying you were just joking, but somebody on here didn't know what a smash pass was, so we gave her an opportunity to do that. So whether we're talking about a smash pass or whether we're talking about a poly relationship, do you think for your generation that some of that is actual conformity? where you got people. Now, come on. Now, I'm serious. Do you think that some of that is conformity, where you guys are? I feel like somebody in there ain't cool with it. Somebody in there may not. That's right. Get a drink, girl. Get a drink, because I'm gonna need you to talk. I'm gonna need you to chat with me. I wonder truly if some of the poly and some of the smash pass is not actually what individuals are chill with on the inside, but this is what people are doing. Just like the video showed, when everybody else is doing it, at first you might be like, two, what do you see there? Two. But then after a while, you keep looking around and everybody else is like three. And then after a while, you start saying three. Do you think, and I'm just asking you your thought, and I want you to be real and raw with me. Do you think that the smash pass, the poly, all of that, do you think any of that is actually a conformity?
I think that for some people, yes, it is. It is. Actually, when I first got introduced to like a throuple, I don't know how I started watching this video, and the girl, she was saying that she found her boyfriend was cheating on her, and so she felt like she needed to talk to the girl he was cheating with to see what she was about. Like, what did she have that she didn't have? What did this other girl have that she didn't have? And so she met the girl, and they actually ended up hitting it off, and so she decided to try having a throuple, or a poly situation.
Okay,
so
just a second. Okay, go ahead. I was going to ask you to explain a throuple and a poly, because this is all, I see it's a new word for oso. So we touched this on there was a Friday a couple of weeks ago, and we got pretty deep off into it. Just give us a brief overview. You talked about smash pass. Please explain a throuple and a poly.
Okay, so a throuple is when you're in a relationship and there's three people in the relationship. So you'll have, just three people in a relationship. So it could be two guys and one girl, two girls and one guy. But it's called a throuple when everybody's
Okay, your volume's going in.
Poly is when you're. Oh, can you hear me?
I'm going to mute so that I think my mic may be messing with yours. I'm a mute.
Okay. And so then poly is also can be like a throuple, but you can have like different variations to where like you can be in a relationship with a person, and then you can have like people on the side, but the people on the side don't necessarily interact with the person you're in a relationship with. And it's so many different ways to have a poly relationship. But yeah, that's the difference. But a throuple is when three people are in a relationship together. They're all intertwined in there.
Got you. Thank you for clarifying. Now, I'm still going to come back, and that is very prominent for all of you old timers out there. This may be your first time hearing it, but this is the world in which this generation is living, and it's the real deal. This isn't isolated. It's not a one-off. This is the way they're rolling. Okay, so do you think any of this is whether you're talking about a throuple, and I'm not saying this to tear it down, that's not where I'm coming from, so I don't want you to feel attack mode from me, because that's not the way I roll. Do you feel like this is in any stretch of the imagination largely a matter of, in your generation, either you take it or you don't, or either you end up by yourself or you won't, kind of scenario? Because I do have to come back to the reality. Women have often felt just kind of out there, and, people, nobody's choosing me. I'm out here by myself. So then we start making other adjustments and adaptations. Do you think any of this is conformity?
Well, I had someone to do it to conform, just to keep the guy. So if it's a guy, and it could be the other way around too. If a girl wants to be with multiple people, even though he wants to be in just a committed relationship, but she wants to kind of be out here a little bit, then, he just have to take what he can get. But I think that, now the fact that, we all know that women outnumber men, and, you have the statistics and all that, but I think that you know, you have to decide what you're okay with. So I think some women do feel like they have to put up with certain things just to have the man. But hopefully, you know, hopefully they're interested in it and just kind of want to explore themselves or want to be in a throuple relationship. But I mean, I think that you have to really know who you are and, you know what kind of relationship you want before you start trying to do things with multiple people, because I think it's difficult to have a relationship with one person. And so then you throw another person in the mix, it seems like it would be even more difficult because you have double the feelings and everything you have to work on. So I think that, is it a part of conforming? I think that sometimes it can be, but also I think that people are opening themselves up to different types of relationships, because you have a lot of people who get to their 30s and haven't been in a long-term committed relationship before. Like, that's becoming more and more common. So it's like your relationships are kind of also evolving, and so you have to like kind of figure out what it is that what type of person are you, like what are you okay with. And so I mean, I think that kids, like younger people, I think that they're more open to new things,
Gotcha.
to different, as opposed to just the traditional way. Now, me myself personally, I'm a traditional. This is traditional work over here. I have considered a throuple, but I think that I'm too jealous for a throuple. I don't think it's gonna work out for me, because I got a problem, Aunt Jean. I really do.
I feel you.
100%. I don't understand how, and some people say that it's more difficult because you deal with jealousy just naturally, because you have to be considerate of multiple people and how people are going to take things. So it just seems like a lot of work. It just seems like even more work. Relationships are work anyway. So I think it's a part of conformity, but I think also people are just willing to explore a little bit more.
Okay, so there's a question out on the floor. What generation are we talking about? Now, you're a baby of the 90s, but this would be fairly common for your babies of the 90s and younger. This is not anything foreign to your age group and going down.
I believe that I am a millennial. That's what they say I am is. And so I think millennials and then under me.
Okay. And so the exploration and all of that level of experience, do you really don't feel, and I guess I'm trying to come back and kind of get a feel for where you're coming from in your answer. You don't feel that it's really conformity. You feel like it's just the age and the time that is. There's no real pressure of conformity here at a larger level.
I think that it is, but I think that like that guy, the more you see it, the more you kind of open yourself up to it, and then you kind of try it and see. Well, I guess a little different from that video, but I think that some people will conform to it. I think some people will see it and experience it and be like, oh, this works for me a lot. And then I think other people are like, no, that's not for me. Not at all. I don't share. I hear that all the time. I don't share. Go ahead.
You don't think, and I guess I'm beating a dead horse. So I'm gonna ask it one more time, and I'm gonna leave it alone because you done answered it about 20 times. You don't think that this is peer pressure, because we're talking about very young and impressionable, and not just. I'm not trying to take anything away, and so I have to really pay attention to myself, my words, my concepts, and my. Because okay, so at 60, it's like you gotta. I'm trying to teach an old dog this new trick. So as far as thinking and processing, I want to understand the thinking, the thoughts, and the processes. You don't think this is a manifestation? Because if I was just being honest, I would say I envision a lot of this and the widespread acceptance of it, I think, is peer pressure. So with that being said, you feel like I'm probably wrong.
Peer pressure is a negative you know, it has a negative connotation.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, you know, what's the difference between peer pressure and somebody introducing a new idea to you and you trying it? You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
So I think that it's it depends.
Okay.
And I think that it's because it's, you have to think about like marketing. If somebody puts a new idea out there, you know, you open yourself up to it. I think it's just a fine line, Angie. I don't know if it's peer pressure. I think that either you can conform to it or you don't.
Yes.
But you have to be individual. You have to know yourself.
Okay.
But for some people, it's going to be good. It's going to be good for them. I've seen some thruples that's working out very well, you know, but some people it doesn't work for.
Okay.
So that is a new idea, not a new idea, but it's becoming more popular now or more mainstream. So people can consider, could this work for me?
Good. I appreciate that response. And even dating myself with the reality to your response, and I receive it in the gracious way that it was given, with no negativity, that peer pressure is no longer a positive connotation. There's no positive connotation to that concept. So I appreciate my update, if you will, on that's a negative, and I received that. It shows how we can get, when in my age group, of course, you know, okay, I graduated in 1982, but in my age group, you know, the nice way of dealing with our change or whatever was peer pressure. But at this point, I guess peer pressure has been beaten and sent to the grave and buried, and we're on another trajectory.
I mean, I think that people are going to, if one of your friends is in a throuple and they're saying it's working and you're not in a relationship and you get the opportunity, somebody asks you to be in a throuple, I think you might consider it. Now, is that peer pressure? Or, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it's peer pressure.
Okay. Thank you.
That's my.
I hear you.
Well, AG, let's turn that thing around.
Oh, Lord Jesus, oh, Lord Jesus, oh, Lord Jesus, where's Shelly when I need her? Where's Shelly when I need her? Oh, my goodness. Okay. Hold on just a second. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Come on. I'm flunking all over the place today.
Turn this thing around.
Okay, let's turn that thing around, Lena.
Listen, y'all already know. Turn that thing around is basically a game to where we take negative situations, negative ideas, and see the positive in it. Because I truly believe that perspective is the game changer. So you can't change what's getting thrown at you, but you can change how you see it. Okay. So she is my victim today.
Shelly, I need you, Shelly.
Shelly, listen, it's you today. It's you. Okay. So we're going to turn that thing around. So I have 7 statements for you. We'll see if you can pick out the positive in these negative statements. You ready?
I'm going to try.
Okay, number 1. This is see the positive. What's the positive in this? I conform easily and just now realizing that I'm a yes man. And now I'm not proud of myself because I've never challenged anything in my life. Is there positive in that? What do y'all think? AG, think on that. Somebody comment. Is there any positive in that situation?
I realize that I'm a yes man. Mm-hmm. I know somebody that thinks they are a nonconformist, but they're actually a yes person. And I would think that they would be shocked, stunned, and amazed when they realize. So that my mind's going there. So let me reel it back in. But there's good out of it, even though they're a yes person. They do bring a lot to the table. They do provide a lot of bridge work in being that yes person. And you know, like I said, the dichotomy of that is that they think that they're not a yes person, but they really are. But they do many times bring a bridge to the situation.
They bring a bridge to the situation.
Yeah, because they'll just go ahead and they say yes, and they, you know, they eliminate the what I want to say, the resistance, and just go ahead and do it, agree, comply, conform, and the church rolls on.
Well, oh no, also said the positive is is your like with the masses. So the positive is that you got friends. You got friends in me.
Thank you also.
Okay, number 2. I realized that my work is actually now you realize that the work that you do is actually not something that you love. It's not your passion, but what happened was you conform to it, and 10 years down the line you look up and you've not done anything you wanted to do in life.
you want to turn that thing around.
Turn that thing around.
You have tenacity and stick-to-itiveness.
And you paid your bills.
There you go. I hope
you listen. Stacy said Stacy said for the first one, she said, you now realize a fault and now you'll be able to correct it and do better going forward. Self-growth.
Come on.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Let me see. Number 3. I have not stood up to things because I was afraid of what people would think of me. And now I'm filled with shame and unworthiness. Kind of like the one. But how can you turn that thing around?
Say the question one more time. I'm trying to get those emotions that you put in there. I am feeling what?
Okay, so you've never stood up against things because you were afraid of what people would think of you.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're filled with shame and unworthiness.
I'm waiting for the chat.
You know, it's hard because this is the thing. People are feeling these rough feelings and tough situations.
Yes.
And so sometimes it's difficult to see the positive in things, but that's the key. Because once you start thinking like that, stuff pops up quicker and quicker and quicker. Let's see what somebody said. Alna also said, I can't see the positive in that. Because no matter what, people will dislike you for whatever. Oh Lord, now I'm gonna have to take it on because y'all, AG, you ain't got nothing.
You know, I have a lot of things that I'm feeling and thinking, but no, I'm gonna restrain and refrain. Give me your turn that thing around, Lena.
You know, I've dealt with some shame and some unworthiness feelings. When you feel that, you have to realize that those feelings are also something that God created. So if you think about these negative feelings, if this is something that God has created, this is a situation that God's put me through, it's got to be some good that's going to come from it. And when you feel unworthiness, when you feel shame, it just means you need to do some self-work. Once you do that self-work, you come out of that, you've been to the lowest of low, and now the mountaintop.
Come on here. Turn that thing around. Turn that thing around. He turned it. Come on, turn that thing around.
Also said God created negative feelings. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say that this world was created by God. You have negative feelings just like you have positive feelings. And it's not all about feeling good all the time. Sometimes it's about growth. And I think that God puts you in situations to where you understand that. I'm trying to think. I think his name is Jonathan McReynolds.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not be him, but he has a song and he says, may my trouble, basically is, may the bad stuff in my life bring me closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, my personal opinion, I'm not going to go too deep in this. My personal experience has been my deepest depths, my deepest shame, and things of those natures have literally brought me closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing else and nobody else in the world who could help me with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in those spaces, in those areas, is where God does the most, not the most work, but the deepest work.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think God created the negative feelings also. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna go to Isaiah. I'm gonna go to Isaiah 45:7, and I'm not gonna preach. I'm just gonna read this verse. I form the light. I create darkness. I make peace, and I created evil. I, the Lord, have done all these things. Isaiah 45:7. I'm gonna let that sit right there. Okay, let's keep rolling.
Ah, yes. Okay. Number 4, Aunt Jean, you got your hat on.
Got my hat on.
Come on. Okay. Number 4 is I love twerking, but grew up in church, and the pastor condemned my hip rolls, and I don't feel comfortable dancing outside of my own company now.
Tell Pastor to close his eyes.
Close your eyes, Pastor.
Close your eyes, Pastor, because that's really the problem. Quit looking at my hips roll. Okay, no, really. I think ultimately.
No, but okay, this is supposed to be funny, but this is a real thing. Church folk think, and not just church folk, but certain people think they only dancing they can do is shouting.
I agree.
And that's not so.
I agree.
Go ahead, Angie.
No, I agree. Come on, turn that thing around, girl. You got the anointment on you. Turn that thing around.
You can twerk, you can jerk, you can gyrate, and it's all of God. Oh, okay. That's my opinion. Oh no! Also, if you say God told me to what?
You tell me God to listen. Oh no! Also, then that means you cannot go over to Rebels Church of the Righteous and Ratchet because they drop it low for Jesus on the regular. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all got to know what I'm talking about to roll with me there. But anyway, go ahead, Lena.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, 6. I don't have a filter, and I say what is on my mind, so none of my friends come to me for advice or some of the softer, moments that friends may need. What's the positive in that?
That you're pure and honest, and that's who you are. Everybody's different. And I do have friends that don't have filters, and what I have learned even in that, I, as a person, don't avoid them because they don't have a filter. Sometimes they're the ones that are going to tell me the truth when everybody else is trying to sugarcoat. So you may be that one that really has the ability to speak truth to your friend or your neighbor when they really need to hear it.
We need people who don't have filters. We need it.
There are times you need it unfiltered, just like you said, you got to sit in your funk.
You got to sit in that funk.
Yeah.
Mentally, sometimes. I am the type of person that is. I have so many filters. And I think it's the reason why I enjoy listening more than I like talking, because I consider everything. I consider a lot of things that comes out of my mouth. Even like doing this podcast, it's different for me because I have to think quicker or whatever. But I am a slow processor, and I think about everything before I say it to somebody. But people who don't have filters, like you said, they're just pure. So whatever out the thoughts, and you do need to hear that sometimes. I like that. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last one, Jean. I have conformed in every way possible in my life, thinking it would get me what I wanted and where I wanted, and then come to find out, everything that I conformed for because I wanted it, it doesn't want me. And so now it didn't work out. So now I'm like, I did what I was supposed to do, and I don't have it. So what was the point? So tell me the positive in that.
Now, what it has taught you is that conformity to things that grieve your spirit and who you are is not the answer. Go out and live your life and be you.
Go out and live your life and be you.
Take that lesson. Go out, live your life and be you.
Hey, Jean, that's your mantra.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Conform. Oh no, also said conforming to love people. Yeah. Because, you think about some people when they get into relationships, and this is just what came to mind, but if you get to a relationship with somebody and they have a certain idea of what a woman is supposed to be like, or a certain idea of what a man is supposed to be like, and you get into a relationship and y'all both are playing these roles, but really not who you actually are. And so, yeah, y'all got love, but then it's like some of the parts of you are hidden away. I think that it's important for you just to be who you are. Like, so, like, okay, you know, women, when you think of a woman, and some people in their marriages, the woman usually, you know, backs down to the man, or the man is the last. He has to say. He has the right to say. But you might have the better idea if y'all confront an issue. But since he's the man, he doesn't listen to you because he feels like this is what a man is supposed to be. I take charge. And the woman's like, well, this is what a woman's supposed to be. I'm supposed to let the man take charge, you know, and sit back. And now y'all $10,000 in debt because y'all didn't get a PPP loan like you knew you could.
Listen, I've seen some situations. I've been in some situations. I've seen it. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think that that whole element of when you tried it one way and you've seen and it's manifested, it doesn't work. Hey, you don't have to keep going down that road, pump the brakes, turn around, go the opposite direction, go another direction, whatever. But find yourself and then walk in it.
Amen. That's it, Aunt Jean.
That's it.
That's my turn around.
Turn that thing around. Turn that thing around. You did a good job. You did a good job.
What was your mantra? I want to say yours is good.
If you ask me the question about all of this proven and it didn't turn out and it was to take that, learn from it, and then turn around and be who you are.
Turn around and be this. I want my mantra to be know thyself and stick to it. I took it biblical.
I like it.
Know thyself and stick to it.
I think that's a little Socrates in there.
Oh, Socrates. Socrates.
Socrates.
I need to study on him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, I love it. I've had a good time with you talking today. I love all the comments. Thank y'all. Y'all have been with us this whole time.
Appreciate you. Tasty coming in the room. You're back. Appreciate all of you guys. Everybody that's come in and all the raids that we had. Thank you so much. And Lena, I'm going to let you close it out.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all. Y'all come on back. We're going to be back Friday at 2 p.m. My Instagram, I want to tell you, is at Leor Music, Leeor Music. And y'all have a great day. It's Friday.
And for all, again, Shelly will be back. She's traveling today. And so she was out of sync. We could not coordinate that joker around as far as the technology to be able to get her in there today. But Shelly, wherever you are, Spiritual Thought Leader, missed you, girl. And so did Lena. And we're looking forward to you coming back. But Lena, you did a beautiful job. And thank you for just, putting it out there, because that's really what it's about at the end of the day. Thank you so much. And that being said, beloved, I appreciate everybody that's here. And thank you. We're going to go out with, unfortunately, let me see if I can get the vid to work here. And we're going to try it one more time. I love you, Lena.
Love you.
Growth, longevity, understanding, and integrity. Me and you, we on the road. Graduate, self-discovery. Got a lot to learn in this life, and I'm excited. Gonna do it in my people like mine. How she gonna be when you need it? How she gonna be?